welcome to the Healing Work, where we focus on self-discovery and spiritual growth. I'm Chastity, and welcome to my channel. I hope you all comment, like, and subscribe, and let's get started. So today we are continuing our read on The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Y'all forgive me, I'm just starting out. I don't have no ring light. It's just me in this terrible lighting. But we're going to make the best of it, and let's get started. So chapter 3 is entitled The Miracle Working Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It is foolish to believe in sickness and something to hurt or to harm you. Believe in perfect health, prosperity, peace, wealth, and divine guidance. The power of your subconscious mind is beyond all measure. It inspires you and guides you. It calls up vivid scenes from the storehouse of memory. Your subconscious controls your heartbeat and the circulation of your blood. It regulates your digestion, assimilation, and elimination. When you eat a piece of bread, your subconscious mind transmutes it into tissue, muscle, bone, and blood. These processes are beyond the ken of the wisest person who walks the earth. Your subconscious mind controls all the vital processes and functions of your body. It knows the answer to all your problems. It's very powerful. It knows all the answers to all problems. So once again, this is just important for us to remember that we got to be very mindful of what we're feeding our conscious mind, because it in turn talks to the subconscious mind. So if you're not feeding the conscious mind positive thoughts, subconsciously you're not going to receive the solutions you need to the various problems that we encounter here. Your subconscious mind never sleeps, never rests. It is always on the job. You can discover the miracle working power of your subconscious by plainly stating to your subconscious prior to sleep that you want a specific thing accomplished. You will be amazed and delighted to discover that the forces within you will be released that lead to the result you wish for. Here's a source of power and wisdom that puts you directly in touch with omnipotence. This is the power that moves the world, guides the planets in their course, and causes the sun to shine. Your subconscious mind is the source of your ideas, aspirations, and altruistic urges. It was through the subconscious mind that Shakespeare perceived and communicated great truths hidden from the average man of his day. It was through the subconscious mind that the Greek sculptor Phidias gained the art and skill to portray beauty, order, symmetry, and proportion in marble and bronze. The subconscious mind is the deep well from which great artists draw their awe-provoking power. It enables the great Italian artist Raphael to paint his Madonnas and the great German musician Beethoven to compose his symphonies. While lecturing at the Yoga Forest University in Rishikesh, India, I had a long conversation with a surgeon who was visiting from Bombay. From him, I had learned the astonishing story of Dr. James Isedale. Isedale was a Scottish surgeon who practiced in Bengal during the 1840s. This was before either or modern methods of chemical anesthesia were in use. Nevertheless, between 1843 and 1846, Dr. Isedale performed some 400 major surgical operations of all kinds. These included amputations, removal of tumors, and cancerous growths and operations on the eye, ear, and throat. All these operations were performed under mental anesthesia only. Wow. Patients said they felt no pain, and none of them died during surgery. Just as amazing, the mortality rate of Isedale's patients following surgery was extremely low. This was well before Western scientists such as Louis Pasteur and James Lister pointed out the bacterial origin of infection. No one realized that post-operative infections were due to unsterilized instruments and virulent organisms. Nevertheless, when Isedale suggested to his patients who were in a hypnotic state that no infection or septic condition would develop, their subconscious mind responded to his suggestion. They set in motion the process needed to fight off life-threatening dangers of infection. That's wow. So basically, this man was operating on people without any anesthesia, just using mental anesthesia, and then programming them to believe that infection wouldn't occur. Whereas now we have a whole sterilization unit and all this high-end stuff to prevent infection. So basically, it's once again suggesting that the subconscious mind has the control to fight off infections. Think of it. More than a century and a half ago, this Scottish surgeon who had gone halfway around the world discovered how to use the miraculous wonder working powers of the subconscious mind. It is enough to cause you to be seized with awe. This transcendental powers that the inspired Dr. Isidale and that protected his patients from moral danger can be yours too. Your subconscious mind can give you independence of time and space. It can make you free from all pain and suffering. It can give you the answer to all problems, whatever they may be. There is power and an intelligence within you that far transcends your intellect, causing you to marvel at the wonder of it all. All these experiences causes you to rejoice and believe in miracle working powers of your own subconscious mind. I'll continue. Your subconscious is your book of life. Whatever thoughts, beliefs, opinions, theories, or dogmas you write, engrave, or impress on your subconscious mind, you will experience them as the objective manifestation of circumstances, conditions, and events. Once again, he's telling us, be mindful of your thoughts, because those thoughts, in turn, with the beliefs and opinions and theories, have the ability to directly impact our circumstances. You have two sides to your life, objective and subjective, visible and invisible, thought and its manifestation. Your thought is received as a pattern of neural firings in your cerebral cortex, which is the organ of your conscious reasoning mind. Once your conscious or objective mind accepts the thought completely, it is transmitted to the older parts of the brain where it becomes flesh and is made manifest in your experience. Whew. As previously outlined, your subconscious cannot argue. It acts only from what you write on it. It accepts your verdict or the conclusions of your conscious mind as final. This is why you're always writing on the book of life, because your thoughts become your experience. I know this may be wild for some of you all, but let's just, going forward, when you begin to have thoughts, think about, like, going forward, see how your experience in life can be correlated to your thoughts. So just like going over the next few days, whenever you think something, just kind of be mindful of whatever kind of experience that you have following that. And let's see if we can put additional validity to this, because this is, I know I can see it in my life, but this is just crazy when you sit and read it and, you're able to process it and understand. So I just want to encourage you all to try that, because that's powerful. So I'll continue. The American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Man is what he thinks all day long." Man is what he thinks all day long. What do you think of yourself? What do you think of yourself? What is impressed in the subconscious is expressed. William James, the father of American psychology, said that the power to move the world is in your subconscious mind. And society will have us to think differently. We've been conditioned to think that all of our experiences, or wholly driven on external factors. Your subconscious mind is one with infinite intelligence and boundless wisdom. It is fed by hidden springs and is called the law of life. Whatever you impress upon your subconscious mind, the latter will move heaven and earth to bring it to pass. You must therefore impress it with right ideas and constructive thoughts. Right ideas and constructive thoughts. This goes back to what I discussed in, I can't remember if it was chapter 1 or chapter 2. As you find yourself on this journey, you'll become more cognizant of the thoughts that you have. Like I said, it's not going to be days where you're going to be constantly thinking just great thoughts all the time. It's important to acknowledge those thoughts, try to identify where they come from, and if it doesn't resonate with who you are and who you truly want to be, give it peace, move on, and begin trying to acknowledge a more favorable thought. Because he's basically saying right here, we are who and what we think we are. The reason there is so much chaos and misery in the world is that so many people do not understand the interaction of their conscious and subconscious minds. When these two principles are in accord, in concord, in peace, and synchronously together, you will have health, happiness, peace, and joy. There is no sickness or discord when the conscious and subconscious work together harmoniously and peacefully. In the ancient world, Hermes Trismegistus had the reputation of being the greatest, most powerful magus the world had ever known. When his tomb was opened centuries after his passing, those who were in touch with the wisdom of the ancient waited with great expectancy and a sense of wonder. It was said that the greatest secret of all ages would be found within the tomb. And so it was. The secret inscribed in the tomb read, "As within, so without, as above, so below." I'll read again. As within, so without, as above, so below. So now that, not only is he having these findings, he's going back to ancient findings that are revalidating the importance of having right thinking accompanied by right action to produce the desired result that we want. I haven't, I think this Hermes Trismegistus, I have that book, and I do want to try to read that, and will continue to finish it and reread it, and I'll possibly do it on live, because that's another very powerful book that I would highly recommend based off of the chapters that I've read, because it does help you to understand, how there are certain laws that help contribute to your current life experience or any future experience that you want to desire. And like I said, it's very insightful. Just this quote alone, as within, so without, as above, so below. There are so many people who don't realize that the internal thoughts, their behaviors are shaping the life in which they're living. And if I can't even imagine, I wouldn't say a tenth, but goodness, if a good proportion of society knew this, the world would definitely be, a better place, at least I think so. In other words, whatever you impress in your subconscious mind, that becomes expressed on the screen of space. The same truth was proclaimed by Moses, Isaiah, Jesus, Buddha, Zoroaster, Lao Tzu, and all the illumined seers of the ages. Whatever you feel as true subjectively is expressed as conditions, experience, and events. Motion and emotion must balance. Motion and emotion must balance. As in heaven, your own mind, so on earth, in your body and environment, this is the great law of life. You will find throughout nature the law of action and reaction, of rest and motion. These two must balance, and then there will be harmony and equilibrium. You are here to let life principles flow through you rhythmically and harmoniously. The intake and the outgo must be equal. The impression and the expression must be equal. All your frustration is due to unfulfilled desire. If you think negatively, destructively, and viciously, these thoughts generate destructive emotions and must be expressed and must find an outlet. Think about how in certain communities where people have been deprived of certain resources, and that alone is building up frustration. These people have frustration within themselves. So within themselves and, at their life and at their situation, all be valid. But that frustration is what's leading to violence and all other, issues that are going on there. And you just got to think how sometimes, what is fueling this? Outside of, outside of like resources being limited, it's hard to blame the people when there are certain other contributing factors, but you got to think if people knew how their response and how their emotions and their behavior and their thoughts is leading and fueling the current predicament in which they're in. I would think if, they were given the opportunity to actually think in that right frame of mind, they would work towards changing, said behaviors and actions. But it's just so much as far as, so many contributing factors that prohibit people from having the opportunity to see how all of that plays into, their life circumstances. I hope that makes sense. I was just trying to break it down a little bit. But I'll continue. What is your idea of feeling about yourself now? Every part of your being expresses that idea. If you don't think favorably of yourself, you're going to have unfavorable experiences, an unfavorable experience. And, some people, they don't feel good about themselves, and so they turn to outside people to kind of reaffirm that. And then what happens when that person is not able to reaffirm what you need them to be? It's just a perpetual cycle of unhappiness. Sorry, y'all. These negative emotions are frequently expressed as ulcers, heart trouble, tension, and anxiety. I know I was amazed to find out that how a lot of health conditions that we experience in modern day society can somehow be linked to spiritual disharmony. Like he's saying here, a person that is probably more inclined to have negative thoughts and emotions would probably predisposition themselves to have occurrences of ulcers, heart trouble, tension, and anxieties. What is your idea of feeling about yourself? Every part of your being expresses that idea. Your vitality, body, financial condition, friends, and social status represent a perfect reflection of the idea you have of yourself. This is the real meaning of what it is impressed in your subconscious mind and what is expressed in all phases of your life. We injure ourselves by the negative ideas we entertain. How often have you wounded yourself by getting angry, fearful, jealous, or vengeful? These are the poisons that enter your subconscious mind. You were not born with these negative attitudes. Feed your subconscious mind life-giving thoughts, and you will wipe out all the negative patterns lodged within it. As you continue to do this, all the past will be wiped out and remembered no more. Yeah, I think it might have been the second chapter, where I was discussing how sometimes our upbringing greatly shapes who we are today and who we perceive ourselves or how we conduct ourselves. So I'm saying all that to say is that while you're on this journey, you have to be mindful of that who you are today is heavily correlated to the programming that you received as a child and as a teen and as a young adult and even an adult. We're still continuously being programmed by marketing via commercials, social media. So many things are programming us. And I think it's just important to be conscious of what you are allowing to program yourself, especially if it's not at your greater good. The subconscious heals a malignancy of the skin. The most convincing evidence anyone can have of the healing power of the subconscious mind is a personal healing. Many years ago, I developed a malignancy of the skin. I went to the finest doctors who tried the most advanced treatment medical science could offer. None of these helped. The malignancy got progressively worse. Then one day, a clergyman with a deep sort of psychological knowledge told me that the inner meaning of the 139th Psalm. He called my attention to the passage that reads, "Thou didst see my limbs unformed in the womb. And in thy book they are all recorded. Day by day they were fashioned, and not one of them was late in growing." Psalms 139:16. He explained that the term book meant my subconscious mind, which fashioned and modeled all my organs from a tiny original cell. He pointed out that the science my subconscious mind had made my body, it would also recreate it and heal it according to the perfect pattern within it. This goes back to, what is your perception of your body? Like, if you're not cognizant of your body and you don't eat well, don't drink water, your body's not going to be operating at its greatest. However, if you take value, and you honor your body and things to that nature, your body is gonna operate more favorably. This clergyman pointed to his watch. This had a maker, he told me. But before the watch could become an objective reality, the watchmaker had to have the idea of it clearly in mind. If for some reason the watch stopped working as it should, the watchmaker idea of it would give him the knowledge he needed to fix it. I understood what he was trying to tell me by this analogy. The subconscious intelligence that created my body was like the watchmaker. It knew exactly how to heal, restore, and direct all vital functions and processes of my body. But for it to do this properly, I had to give it the idea of perfect health. This would act as a cause, and the effect would be healing. I formulated a very and simple, direct prayer. My body and all its organs were created by the infinite intelligence in the subconscious mind. It knows how to heal me. Its wisdom fashioned all my organs, tissues, muscles, and bones. This infinite healing presence within me is now transforming every cell of my being, making me whole and perfect. I give thanks for the healing I know is taking place at this time. Wonderful are the works of the creative intelligence within me. As I read that, I began to think about how, as a society, we are overly obsessed with consumption. And I'm not saying this from a negative point of view. I personally like things, want nice things, but I think in conditioning ourselves for consumption, we leave little to no room for creativity. And creativity is essential for daily life. I'm not talking about like just the idea of creation is what sustains society. So if you're not in flow of creativity, how can you envision something better than what you're currently perceiving? You won't, because you're not conscious of it. So if you're not operating in creation and you're constantly consuming and like scrolling on, I'm saying doing this because I mean like scrolling on social media, you're not going to be cognizant of creativity. You're just consuming. So when you are faced with problems and issues, you won't possess the capacity to address those problems. And you can do that, as he's telling us, by right thinking, programming your mind with right thoughts. If you're focused on consumption, you're focusing on consuming, you're focusing on everything outside of yourself. And I'm not promoting people being selfish, but like I said, this is geared to those of us who are on a spiritual journey and are looking to be enlightened, to become their best, greatest self. If you've done the work and you're okay with consuming and you know how to moderate, clear cut, delete, cancel. It doesn't apply to you. But like I said, if you're on a journey and you're looking to better yourself and become the best person you can, you have to focus on the act of creativity. Because in creating, you're going to be more in flow with the idea of transforming your current reality. I repeated this simple prayer aloud for about 5 minutes, 2 or 3 times a day. After some 3 months, my skin was whole and perfect. The malignancy had vanished. My doctor was baffled, but I knew what had happened. I had given life-giving patterns of wholeness, beauty, and perfection to my subconscious mind. These forced out the negative images and patterns of thought lodged in my subconscious mind, which were the cause of all my trouble. And to piggyback on my previous statement, in the act of creating, I would also recommend allowing creation to take place. I know for myself, as a closeted creative, I'll create something, but I don't necessarily stick with it. But I think there's going to be so much beauty in continuously chipping away at something until it becomes perfect. And it's only going to become perfect as you begin to shape and change the outlook of your mind towards whatever you're creating. So he's talking about how these people are transforming their health conditions through the power of their mind. That works. He's showing you it works there. So why can't you do this with your ability to one day own a house? If you're saying it's never going to happen and you're not actively pursuing the creative act of acquiring a home, you're going to be so beyond the ability to be able to perceive it and put yourself in a position of creating that experience of home ownership. Nothing appears on your body except when the mental equivalent is first in your mind. Nothing appears on your body except when the mental equivalent is first in your mind. As you change your mind by drenching it with incessant affirmatives, you change your body. This is the basis of all healing. I hope that there is someone here watching that may particularly be facing some type of health condition, and that potentially may be defeated and is looking to external factors outside of themselves and, the power of God within themselves to heal themselves, that they hear this. Because it's important to know that you can heal yourself. And there's so many people that are frustrated and they don't. I'm starting to believe that it's the thoughts alone accompanied by these conditions that is causing some people to succumb to their illness or having to endure a life that's full of sickness. He goes on to say all disease originates in the mind. Nothing appears on the body unless there is mental pattern corresponding to it. Basically, if the doctor, and I'm not a medical expert, but this is how I'm perceiving the information disclosed in this book. If the doctor says, oh, we have this, and you believe, or we seen this, and you agree, and you internally agree with this, it's an equal match. So that's going to be the experience that Joseph Murphy is stating that you'll have. There's in one process of healing that it is faith. There's only one healing power, namely your subconscious mind. Find out what it is that heals you. Realize the correct directions given to your subconscious mind will heal your mind and body. And I know there's going to be somebody here watching and they'll say, they will argue back and say, oh, it's God. But God is within you. And if God is perfect and provides peace and understanding to all things, see God within yourself. And that's going to require right action, right thinking. And you can heal yourself through that. How the subconscious controls all functions of the body. Whether you're awake or asleep, the ceaseless, tireless action of your subconscious mind controls all the vital functions of your body without any need for your conscious mind to intervene. While you are asleep, your heart continues to beat rhythmically. Your chest and your diaphragm muscles pump air in and out of your lungs. There, the carbon dioxide that is byproduct of the activity of your body cells is exchanged for the fresh oxygen you need to go on functioning. Your subconscious controls your digestive processes and glandular secretions, as well as all other wondrously complex operations of your body. All this happens whether you're awake or asleep. I think about that too. If he's stating that your subconscious controls your digestive and glandular secretion, basically your glandular system. And if you're feeding your negative thought, or if you're thinking negative thoughts, and you're creating an environment and a frequency within your body that is not of the best, your body has no choice but to develop this sickness and disease. If you were forced to operate your body's functions with your conscious mind, you would certainly fail. This is what a lot of y'all are using who may be, and I'm not saying it from a judgmental point of view, that may be enduring sicknesses or diagnosis. You're trying to cure yourself with your conscious mind, and he's basically telling you your subconscious mind is what is going to be able to assist with healing you. Disclaimer, I'm not saying stop taking your medicine and just think positive thoughts, but that use those contributory factors to work on healing yourself. It says, if you were forced to operate your body's functions with your conscious mind, you would certainly fail. You would probably die a very quick death. The processes are too complicated, too intertwined. The heart-lung machine that is used during open heart surgery is one of the wonders of modern medical technology. But But what it is doing is indefinitely simpler than what your subconscious mind does 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, a year in and a year out. Suppose you were crossing the ocean in supersonic jetliner and you wandered into the cockpit. You certainly would not know how to fly the plane, but you would not find it difficult to distract the pilot and cause a problem. It's the same way your conscious mind cannot operate your body, but it can get in the way of your proper operation. Worry, anxiety, fear, and depression interfere with the normal functioning of the heart, lungs, stomach, and intestines. Read that again. Worry, anxiety, fear, and depression interfere with the normal functioning of the heart, lungs, stomach, and intestines. So if you're one of these people out there who've been worrying and concerned about what's going to happen tomorrow and totally neglectful of what is happening today, and you suffer from heart problems, lung problems, abdominal problems, he's telling you the contributory force of that is the fact of worrying. Learn to live and breathe in the present. It's not easy, but it enables you to be present and grateful for what is today, because we can't worry about tomorrow. Some people have crystal balls. I personally don't have one, but I'm in control of what I'm doing right now. I'm putting my lip gloss on. I did that. There's nothing for me to worry about putting my lip gloss on. I did it. Now, if I sit and worry that I'm not going to be able to put my lip gloss on tomorrow, and tomorrow comes, and let's just say something happens where I wasn't able to put my lip gloss on. What happens? It only happened because I was worried the day before if I was worried the day before that I was not able to put my lip gloss on, if that makes sense. So what I'm just saying is basically be conscious of what you're actively doing. I'm here, I'm being present. This video is not perfect by all means, but I do believe that some of the dialogue that I've had and some of the words that I read in this book to you all today is going to resonate with the right person that it needs to resonate with. And as I continue to work at this on a daily basis, it's going to get better. And then I'll be able to impact not only that person that I previously impacted, but the other people. So that's what my goal is. And this is basically what I'm saying, or what I am understanding what this book is about. It's about my mind believing that I can do whatever I want to do, and how my thoughts greatly interfere or contribute with making that thought so. That's it. When you feel physically and mentally disturbed, the best thing you can do is let go, relax, and still the wheels of your thought process. What I said earlier, acknowledge it. I didn't say relax, but I did say acknowledge it. But you kind of got to acknowledge it to see what it is and let it go. And definitely work on trying to counter it with a more positive thought. Speak to your subconscious mind. Tell it to take over in peace, harmony, and divine order. You will find that all functions of your body will become normal again. Be sure to speak to your subconscious mind with authority and conviction. It will respond by carrying your command. What does the Bible say? In the beginning, it was the Word. In the beginning, it was the Word. What word are you feeding yourself? Is it a word, a good word? or is it a bad word? Another Bible verse, the power, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you're speaking with such conviction over your life that this favorable experience is going to happen, it has no choice but to happen. How to get the subconscious to work for you. The first thing to realize is that your subconscious mind is always working. It's active night and day, whether you act upon it or not. Your subconscious is a builder of your body, but you cannot consciously perceive or hear that inner silent process. Your business is with your conscious mind and not your subconscious mind. Just keep your conscious mind busy with the expectation of the best, and make sure the thoughts you habitually think are based on the things that are lovely, true, just, and harmonious. Begin now to take care of your conscious mind, knowing in your heart and soul that your subconscious mind is always expressing, reproducing, and manifesting according to your habitual thinking. And if you have an issue with this, I would recommend, like now, I'm playing frequencies here. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but when you're doing something that, I'll tell you what, when you are in your downtime, do things to help contribute to you reaching that desired result. Playing frequencies, listening to audiobooks, reading books that create positivity in your conscious and subconscious mind. Meditate, yoga. Use that time because basically you are sharpening your sword to be able to produce the desired results that you want in your life. Remember, just as water takes the shape of the pipe it flows through, the life principle in you flows through you according to the nature of your thoughts. How you gonna get rid of those unfavorable thoughts? By doing the stuff that I said. Listening to frequencies, meditating, reading books, affirmative prayer, affirmations. Claim that the healing presence in your subconscious is flowing through you as harmony, health, peace, joy, and abundance. Think of it as a living intelligence, a lovely companion on the way. Firmly believe it is continually flowing through you, vivifying, inspiring, and prospering you. It will respond exactly this way. It is done unto you as you believe. Ruling principle of the subconscious restores optic nerves. One of the most celebrated healing shrines in the world is at Lourdes in southwestern France. The archives of the medical department of Lourdes are filled with dossiers that detail well-authenticated cases of what are termed miraculous healings. One example among many is the case of Madame Bayer, who was blind with optic nerves were atrophied and useless. One example among many is the case of Madame Bayer, who was blind with optic nerves that were atrophied and useless. After she visited Lourdes, she regained her sight. Several doctors who examined her testified that her optic nerves were still useless, and yet she saw. A month later, a re-examination found that her visual mechanism had been fully restored to normal. I'm thoroughly convinced that Madame Bayer was not healed by the waters of the shrine. What healed her was her own subconscious mind, which responded to her belief. The healing principle within her subconscious mind responded to the nature of her thought. Belief is a thought in the subconscious. It means to accept something as true. The thought accepted executes itself automatically. Undoubtedly, Madame Bayer went to the shrine with expectancy and great faith. She knew in her heart she would receive a healing. Her subconscious mind responded accordingly, releasing the ever-present healing forces. The subconscious mind that created the I can certainly bring a dead nerve back to life. If God is in you, the same God that rose Jesus from the dead, along with Lazarus and all those other miraculous discoveries, so I can be healed. According to your faith, it is done unto you. How to convey the idea of perfect health to your subconscious. A Methodist minister I met in Johannesburg, South Africa, told me how he overcame an advanced case of lung cancer. The method he used was to convey the idea of perfect health to his subconscious mind. At my request, he sent me a detailed description of the process which I now pass along to you. Several times a day, I would make certain that I was completely relaxed, mentally and physically. I relax my body by speaking to it as follows. My feet are relaxed. My ankles are relaxed. My legs are relaxed. My abdominal muscles are relaxed. My heart and lungs were relaxed. My head is relaxed. My whole being is completely relaxed. After about 5 minutes, I would find myself drifting into a sleepy, drowsy state. Then I affirmed the following. The perfection of God is now being expressed through me. The idea of perfect health is now filling my subconscious mind. The image God has of me is a perfect image, and my subconscious mind recreates my body in perfect accordance with the perfect image held in the mind of God. Some of us don't have a perfect image of God, so therefore, some of us are experiencing the ramifications of that. The minister had a remarkable healing. The technique he used is simple, straightforward way of conveying the idea of perfect health to your subconscious mind. Another wonderful way to convey the idea of health to your subconscious mind is through disciplined or scientific imagination. I told a man who was suffering from functional paralysis to make a vivid picture of himself walking around in the office, touching the desk, answering the telephone, and doing all the things he ordinarily would do if he were healed. I explained this to him that his mental visualization of perfect health would be accepted by his subconscious mind. There's somebody out here that's been looking and applying for jobs day in and day out and ain't got an answer. I'm telling you, begin to see yourself at that new job. If you are frustrated at the application process and you're focused on that, how can you perceive yourself in a position? You don't have no concept of it. You got to start believing and thinking that you've been hired, that the pay is double than what the previous job was, that the bills are paid. You got to envision it in your mind and reaffirm it by acting and thinking and believing it. He threw himself into the role. He actually felt himself back in the office. He knew that he was giving his subconscious mind something concrete and definite to work upon. His subconscious mind was the film upon which the visualization was impressed. He continued this visualization discipline intensely for several weeks. Then one day the telephone rang at a time when everyone else was out. The telephone was 12 feet away from his bed. Nevertheless, he managed to answer it. His paralysis vanished from that hour on. The healing power of his subconscious mind had responded to his mental imagery, and a healing followed. This man had suffered from a mental block that prevented nerve impulses generated in the brain from reaching his legs. This man had suffered from a mental block that prevented mental block. We're going to perceive it as physical, but it was a mental block, because once he removed that mental block, he was able to see again. His nerve impulses generated in the brain from reaching his legs. Therefore, he could not walk. When he shifted his attention to the healing power within him, the power flowed through his focused attention, and he could walk again. Whatever you pray for in faith, you will receive. Matthew 21:22. Ideas to remember for chapter 3. Your subconscious mind controls all the vital processes of your body and knows the answer to all problems. If your heartbeat is beating on its own, if you are breathing on your own, whether those breaths are intentional or intentional, he's basically saying your subconscious mind is doing this. So if you're consciously not aware of this and you are feeding your subconscious negative thoughts, you're creating an environment within your body to experience what he said, heart, stomach ulcers, and lung, and lung issues. He's recommending prior to sleep, turn over a specific request to your subconscious mind and prove his miracle working power to yourself. I learned this maybe about 6 to 8 months ago. I've tried it on a couple occasions, really never that successful because I always just tend to just fall asleep. But I need to work on reincorporating this because based off of the findings he have here and just matching that with concepts from the Bible, I'm thinking that this has to be so. So I want to definitely work on implementing this, so maybe I'll be able to share some things that I hope to bring to fruition. It says, whatever you impress on your subconscious mind is expressed on the screen of space as conditions, experience, and events. If you wake up angry and you don't give yourself time to move past that anger, you're going to have an angry, bad day. Learn to see yourself, your life, and other people in a better condition than what you currently perceive them. Because it's possible. Everything is possible. The law of action and reaction is universal. Your thought is an action, and the reaction is the automatic response of your subconscious mind to your thought. Watch your thoughts. If you're not thinking positive thoughts, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to experience positive things. I know I've said this 100 times over. My goal is for someone out there to get it and for it to resonate with myself as well. He's basically telling us what we think in our mind, it is playing out on the screen of life. All frustration is due to unfulfilled desires. If you dwell on obstacles, delays, and difficulties, your subconscious mind responds accordingly, and you are blocking your own good. It's okay to be frustrated, but we can't focus on the frustration. We got to focus on the solution to the problems. Remember, he said the subconscious mind had the answers to everything. We also got to remember the answer is always in the solution to the problem is always in the problem. The life principle will flow through. Feed your subconscious with thoughts of harmony, health, and peace, and all functions of your body will become normal again. I am healthy. I am love. I am strong. Gotta say those things every day with conviction. Keep your conscious mind busy with the expectation of the best. If you want the best, you want to own a home. Research what it means to own a home. If you want to have a business, research what it means to own a business. Learn and read up on someone who works in the line of business that you want to work in. You are positioning your mind to be able to have that experience of owning a home, owning a business. If you can't see it and speak it, it's not going to happen. Keep your conscious mind busy with the expectation. Oh, I read that. Imagine in the happy ending or solution to your problem. Feel the thrill of accomplishment, and what you imagine and feel will be accepted to your subconscious mind, which will bring it to pass. So many of us have little emotion for the impossible to happen, but have all the emotion for the impossible to happen. Think about that. Oh, I'm just so mad. You have so much emotion about being mad. Where's your emotion about feeling happy, feeling accomplished, feeling that you've been approved for that business loan, being approved for that house that you're trying to buy? Where's that emotion for it happening? If you can't experience it in the now, you're not positioning yourself to experience it in the future. You must consciously affirm, I believe that the subconscious power that gave me this desire is now fulfilling it through me. If God is in you, or if God is for you, who can be against you? If your concept of God is powerful and the amazing, you have no choice but to experience this good stuff. It's only when you don't believe that the adverse happens. Imagine the end desire and feel its reality. Follow it through and you will get definite results. Every time I think I read one chapter and I'm like, oh, this chapter is really good, I go on to the next one and it just magnifies. Especially because I don't know if it's the recent solar eclipse. I'm just feeling so excited for the future of my life, and I'm able to see a lot of this stuff for what it is. And like I said, I'm able to kind of implement in my life. So I'm just excited that I'm reading this book for you all once again, and that we're on this spiritual journey together. Once again, I want to say I'm not perfect, but I'm here for people like myself who's working on becoming the best person that they can be, and that won't require me living a life that's less than that. And I know that is the same thing for you. So once again, thank you so much for watching my channel. I want you to subscribe, like, comment, share, do all the things, and definitely stick with me. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get a screen, not a screen, but one of those ring lights. I'm going to get better at maybe delivering some of the ideas that I have here, in hopes of making sure it resonates with the right people. But yeah, thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.